Elimination Chamber is this Saturday night, and even though we still have Friday Night SmackDown on tonight, the build-up to this pay-per-view by WWE has been pretty much excellent. I mean, the card itself is pretty damn well stacked. We've got two Elimination Chamber matches. We've got a mixed tag team match with the return of Edge. We've got Lesnar versus Lashley, and then the main event that everyone is waiting for. Reigns defending the WWE Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship against hometown hero Sami Zayn. And in that main event, a lot of things will get defined. The road to WrestleMania will finally be clear when it comes to the main event of night 2 for the World Championship at the Show of Shows. And this Saturday night, WWE finally makes the decision of whether to go just the Reigns versus Cody route or to include Sami Zayn in that match and make it a triple threat match. Putting both titles on the line, or separating the titles rather, one title on night 1, one title on night 2, I think that's completely out of the question. Especially considering that if you do that, the main event for night 1 is going to have either a repeat of this, Reigns versus Zayn, or we're going to have Cody, the winner of the Rumble match, go up in night 1 and then possibly lose. We'll pretty much have to lose that match. So has his undefeated, his unstoppable, his God mode aura around him going into night 2 of WrestleMania. So at least from my perspective, from my point of view, separating the titles at this point is completely off the table. Now this past Monday night on Raw, that segment between Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes, that shifted stuff in my mind. That gave me doubt as to whether or not WWE is truly committed to just Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Because the fan reactions in Brooklyn, all of the chanting going on, Cody Rhodes' promo to Sami Zayn to finish his story is poetic for many reasons, and that promo itself makes me want them to do a triple threat match at WrestleMania. Just a little bit, just enough to actually get me enticed to watch the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. In case I wasn't already, I was always going to watch this pay-per-view, but damn, that main event match, the story going into it, the match itself, it's going to be can't miss. Now, if you ask me, the road that I would go through, I would still go strictly with Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, because the promo of, now this past Monday, the Monday before that, between him and Paul Heyman on Raw, really made things personal between Cody and Roman Reigns without Reigns being there, and that's part of Reigns' warfare. That's his mind games coming into fruition, coming into play, heading into WrestleMania. That's what he's always done. That's what he's been able to do for the past 2+ years since he's been the main event, since he's been this unstoppable world champion. And when Cody Rhodes told Sami Zayn to finish his story, I'm sure Cody Rhodes, the character, told Sami Zayn to finish his story in terms of get to the main event of WrestleMania, face off against Cody Rhodes in a main event for the ages that everyone wants to watch because they are both insanely hot right now with the fans. But again, from my perspective, that's WWE's way of telling us that Sami Zayn's story, the way he's going to finish his story, is to win and defeat the Usos for the tag team titles in Hollywood at the Show of Shows. Because I firmly believe that there's a really big reason why we have not seen Kevin Owens on WWE television as of late. Because this Saturday night at Elimination Chamber in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, 2 stories come into play during that main event match. Which side is Jey Uso on? Because Roman Reigns will make Jey Uso pick a side this Saturday night. We all know that. He either sides with his family, the bloodline, Reigns, Jimmy, Solo Sikoa, Paul Heyman, all of them. He either sides with them or he sides with his current friend, who he can't really be friends with, Sami Zayn. And then the other story coming into play this Saturday night at Elimination Chamber, Kevin Owens. Does he do the right thing? Not only morally, but by his former best friend in Sami Zayn, because I've said this multiple times in the past, and I'll continue to say this. Zayn will lose to Reigns at the Elimination Chamber match, with help from Jey Uso. Jey Uso will turn on Sami Zayn. Once that happens, the Bloodline are going to go through with what they said that they were going to do, which is embarrass, humiliate, beat down, and pretty much destroy Sami Zayn in his hometown in front of his friends and family in Montreal. That beatdown after the match is going to happen. And at that point in time, Kevin Owens, and at least if I were booking this is what would happen. Kevin Owens would go out there with a steel chair in hand, make the save, and reunite with his best friend, Sami Zayn. And then that leads us to the road to WrestleMania for them. Them reuniting, them working things out behind the scenes on SmackDown, backstage, in the ring. That's also very, very entertaining television for WWE. And at WrestleMania, we get Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos for the tag team titles. Whether it be for the SmackDown or Raw tag titles, I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, Reigns wins the main event tomorrow night at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Now, as far as the rest of the matches goes, the double headliner that they have is not even an Elimination Chamber match, but we have the rubber match, if you will, between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. And I mentioned this weeks ago. I thought this match was going to happen. I thought this match was penciled in pen for WrestleMania. But apparently not. It might still be. I doubt it, because this is the third match. They each have one win. So who's going to come out with the victory? It's hard to say. I'd give it to Lashley, because Lesnar in defeat against Lashley, he has nothing to lose. And Lashley can get the win over Lesnar, maybe with a little help from the Hurt Business. A reunited Hurt Business, by the way. And then, after WrestleMania, you pair up Bobby Lashley with the Hurt Business. He's a heel. They're a heel faction going up against the babyface world champion and Cody Rhodes, possibly. That is a recipe for great TV, a recipe for a great rivalry, especially considering that the fact that if Roman Reigns loses the titles at WrestleMania, he's going to take a leave of absence. That is absolutely necessary. So I'll give it to Lashley, in this case, at the Chamber pay-per-view. We also have our mixed tag team match. Edge and Beth Phoenix are back. They came back at the Rumble match. They made their intentions clear. They want revenge on Judgment Day. And this time they face off against Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley. And this is a very simple result that will have to go down. It will have to happen. Rhea Ripley will pin Beth Phoenix at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view to keep the rivalry going between Edge and Finn Balor. That way you keep that rivalry going into WrestleMania. And you also make Rhea Ripley look as strong as possible by defeating the Glamazon in the middle of that ring, heading into her SmackDown Women's Championship match at WrestleMania against Charlotte Flair. That damn simple. And as far as the Elimination Chamber matches go, the 6-man Elimination Chamber match for the United States Championship has two things. Does WWE want John Cena to challenge for the United States Championship at WrestleMania? Because I don't think a match between Theory and Cena needs the title. Cena itself beating Cena himself at WrestleMania is the title that they need for that match. So in that case, who wins the championship? It can't be Seth Rollins, because you don't really want Rollins versus Logan Paul for the U.S. title at WrestleMania. At least I don't. I don't think that needs the U.S. championship. I don't think it's time to give Logan Paul and then you have the rest of the men in the chamber. And I think there's only two other possibilities that can actually dethrone Theory in the chamber. And that's Damian Priest of Judgment Day. But then where does he go heading into WrestleMania? And we also have Montez Ford, who stated that if he wins the U.S. title, he's going to defend the title against his partner in the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins, at WrestleMania. And that would be a barn burner of a match. That would be a great match for WrestleMania. Not enough built in for the show of shows, and I don't really want the Street Profits to break up. So, even though Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins can both have the potential to be a top main event star for WWE in the future, I'd have to keep the title on Austin Theory for this pay-per-view. And heading into WrestleMania, of course. The question right now is, after all is said and done, do you have John Cena return in Montreal, or at the pay-per-view, or do you have him return on Raw? And for me, I'd have him return on Raw. That way you don't steal Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens' thunder at the pay-per-view, and you have an epic return to what used to be his show on Monday for John Cena. And then we have the hardest match to predict in terms of the Elimination Chamber match to determine the number one contender for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, Raquel Rodriguez, Natalya, Carmella. Safe to say, Carmella ain't winning this. With all due respect, if I'm calling these people out in terms of like they can't win this match, it's all because of how they've been booked over the past few weeks, over the past few months. They're not ready to go up against the EST of WWE at WrestleMania. Carmella, she's a former two-time SmackDown Women's Champion, but she just came back. She's not going to challenge Bianca Belair for the title at WrestleMania. Natalya, the same thing. She is the veteran of the division, and even though she's a fantastic wrestler, she can get it done in the ring. I don't think people are going to take her seriously against Bianca Belair. That's just how badly her character has been portrayed over the past 3, 4, 5 years at this point. Raquel Rodriguez, powerhouse of SmackDown, powerhouse of the women's division itself. She's still a little too green to be in a main event slot for WrestleMania. And they haven't built her up properly other than the fact that she is strong as hell. So no. We also got Nikki Cross. She's crazy. She's nuts. She's proven herself in NXT in the past. She's currently in a weird storyline with Dexter Lumis, Johnny Gargano, and Candice LeRae, so I pretty much count her out. So it comes down to two women. What do you want? What do you want? You want Asuka to hello?
Hi, Marla.
Hi, this is Alexis. Hello?
Oh, sorry, Alexis. I have the wrong number. I'm sorry.
No, you good. So, thank you.
Bye.
Sorry about that. All right. So it comes down to two performers heading into WrestleMania. Asuka or Liv Morgan. And Liv Morgan has done a great job. She should be on the WrestleMania card. But, you know, ever since the Royal Rumble, Asuka came back. And, you know, she's been on a roll. She's been great. She's got this new Kana-based gimmick. And frankly, it's time to bring that kidder back, bring back the Empress of Tomorrow, and finally get the title off of Bianca Belair and start rebuilding the Raw Women's division, because Bianca Belair has pretty much ran through the entire thing. So I'd give it to Asuka. Asuka's winning the Elimination Chamber match, and we're going to have ourselves a pretty damn good match at WrestleMania between Asuka and Bianca Belair. So with that said, SmackDown later on tonight. We'll catch you on Monday with all the results, all the aftermath of what happened in Montreal. And if you have your different predictions, your different results, your different thoughts on everything heading into the pay-per-view, leave them in the thoughts and comments and predictions on the comment section below. My name is Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk. It's been a pleasure to be here, and I'll see you next time.